So yesterday I was telling you I was pretty frustrated. Kind of at the end of my rope because I gotten so many lawnmowers. I guess we are up to 4 now that I don't feel like, I don't know. So I guess to back up, I'm trying to abbreviate it, and it's taking me longer to abbreviate it than it was just tell the whole story yesterday. So this year I said that I wasn't going to work on anything older than the year 2000. And I don't think I have anybody really tried it. Well, I mean, a few people back in March, but for the most part that hasn't happened. This is a 2005, that's a 2002. Had one that was 2016 just recently. Had one that was a 2002. I think there was another one that was right around that 2002. So anyway, the 2 of them have been sitting around for years. The 2016, I felt pretty comfortable that I wasn't going to be tormented with all kinds of, hey, like, you know, you need to fix this, this isn't working right. But there were some other ones that I was really, well, it just didn't turn out good on any of them. So one of them I want to stay away from. I don't want to talk about that one. I've said that in previous videos, but it was a bad deal. And like I said, it was a 2002, I think. Then day before yesterday, the guy brings in one, and it's a 2002. Gives me the carburetor, says put this carburetor on. A little bit longer story than that, but that's basically what it was. I put it on. Doesn't work, and he brings it back, says it's not working, fix it. So he wants it warrantied. So there's 2 people who's wanted multiple warranty, at least one warranty, if not 2. One of them wanted a warranty on bad gas, and then this one, this zero turn, it is so clear as what's wrong with it. And I'm going to go through it just a little bit to explain it. So when he first brought it over here, the belt was slipping terribly bad. It was so bad that a stick got wedged up in between, a small stick, maybe the size of my finger, got wedged up in between the deck and the mower blade, and the blade just got stuck. And the belt was spinning. So I put on a new belt and put a new tensioner spring on it. Well, now the belt's good and tight and doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's doing what it's supposed to be doing. That's the key. I replaced the blades because they were all beat to heck. Brand new blades. And then, what else was there? Oh, so I give it back to him. Of course, he wants to bring his old blades and put on it. And I said, no, I can't warranty those. So then a few days later, he brings it back, and the PTO shot. What it was is once we got the belt tightened so it wasn't slipping anymore, we discovered that now the PTO, the old PTO, it was worn out. The clutch plates were slipping. That's what happens when they get old. Well, when the belt was slipping, the clutch plates weren't slipping, but as soon as we tightened the belt back to its normal specification, it started slipping. It heated up and melted the wires. So we had to put a new PTO on it. But you got to remember, the entire time something is slipping. So he's using it like a brush hog and things are slipping. Well, that's good. That way you're not tearing up the engine. I mean, it's not good. You shouldn't be hitting things. So brand new PTO, and he calls and says, the PTO is locked up, and it broke and I explained this yesterday, it broke the retaining bracket. It's called an anti-spin or anti-rotation bracket. So this is your PTO, and it broke. We got to looking at it. The only way that can happen is if you hit something so hard, it stops at 3,600 RPMs instantly and just rips that bracket. And I've done extensive research on this just to make sure that the PTO I put on was not bad. If a PTO goes bad, and I think I showed you this yesterday, it gets hard to turn. The bearings go out in it. So, and I've broken this one loose, but essentially these bearings go out and it gets really hard to turn. See, I can turn this one, but it's really hard. So what happens is the motor just starts to struggle with this. It doesn't just lock up. It'll still turn, but you'll hear the motor bogging down. It may die on you, or the belt will start smoking because it can't turn it. But it's not an instantaneous lockup. Nothing with a PTO failure will just lock it up and break that bracket. So he has hit something. Well, of course, he would like it warrantied. You know, it has never happened before. You're telling me I hit stuff, but I've hit stuff before. Well, that's because everything else before was slipping. So as it was slipping, you could hit a stump and that blades would just stop and the belt would keep spinning. Or when I tightened the belt up, you could hit that stump and the PTO would just start slipping. So when I got everything back to new, nothing was slipping, and he hit it and he busted it. So everything is, you know, everybody's wanting these warranties. So, I mean, this is going to run me broke. Now, I told you about that weld. I also welded a piece on the deck. So not only were the new blades, I didn't say this, but I told you this yesterday, the new blades hit something so hard it rounded off the tip on the right side one of the tips. And it broke the weld of that plate that I welded on. I really didn't expect anything to be hitting it that hard, but it hit it really hard. So there's just a lot of evidence that not only does the PTO just never fail catastrophically like that, there's just too much other surrounding evidence around it. So I've got all these, what we're calling basket cases. I'm not a big fan of using industry standard terms because nobody else knows what that means. But basically, they're really old, they've been sitting around for a long time, and they're being abused. Now, I got this one customer called yesterday, and he is well aware he has an old lawnmower that he is abusing. He bought it, an old lawnmower, so he could abuse it. So he didn't feel like he was just throwing away good money on a new lawnmower. And so he'll tear it up. Hey, I broke that lawnmower again. Can you come get it? And he pays, doesn't complain. One time he was stuck on Highway 70, miles from here, maybe 150 miles from here. And he promised he'd come by and pay. So I said, I'll tell you what, I'll keep the key. I'll drop it off. I'll keep the key of your lawnmower. You come over, pay, I'll give you the key. Showed up like 7 o'clock at night. And of course, he's apologizing the whole time. Got stuck in traffic. I mean, that's the kind of customer you want, where they're like, oh, yeah, I break it, you fix it. Got another customer, got a little Cub Cadet push mower right here. But he's always breaking his equipment, constantly. He ignores the maintenance advice I tell him. You know, drain the gas. On that Cub Cadet, I put a fuel shutoff valve, and I told him exactly how to use it. Just turn the valve off, let it run, and die. And he says, I'm not going to do that. And he brought it back just the other day. Same problem. Fuel in the bad fuel in it. And I said, I kind of razzing him. I said, that's why I put that valve in. And he said, I'm not going to use that. It's easier to just bring to you. You fix it. Okay, if that's what you want to do. So, you know, those are nice customers. But these guys who want me to warranty everything, I just can't do it. Especially these old machines. So Carolyn and I were talking today, how are we going to resolve this? And I don't want, because the commenters are always going to say, oh, just make them sign a contract, make them sign a contract, make them sign a contract. Well, okay, fine, I can make them sign a contract, but they ain't going to change anything. Because they're not going to read it. So I need something more specific. So what we've decided is, when I receive a mower here and I do a diagnostic on it, I'm going to say, yes, I can fix your lawnmower. You know, some of these lawnmowers, like, you know, the gas needs to be changed out or, you know, drained out. and maybe clean the carburetor, I don't even contact the customer. You know, I tell them what my minimum fee is. If I'm going to work on it, here's the minimum fee. They'll say, yeah, just fix it. If it gets to be more than the minimum fee, let me know. But as soon as I get it, I am going to send a text message of my warranty. And I developed a warranty today. So essentially, my warranty is 30 days. I will not warranty any fuel-related degradation issues. So basically, if I put a new carburetor on it or I clean a carburetor, there's no warranty on that. Carburetors don't go bad. What else is there? You damage it. If I can prove that you damaged it, which like that zero turn, I can prove it because that blade is dinged up. That's my most evident proof, is he's hit something with that blade. And then finally, well, I already told you I'm not going to work on anything older than the year 2000. But finally, and this is probably the most important one, because almost everything that comes here fits in this criteria. If it's older than 10 years old, there's no warranty at all. Oh, and no commercial warranty. That's an important one. But the most important one is that if it's older than 10 years old, there's no warranty at all. Because it just keeps coming back to bite me. And it's like related issues, like that machine down there. Bad belt turned into a bad PTO, turned into now I'm breaking the PTO. And I don't feel like I'm stretching the idea of warranty. I did some research on this, and most mechanics won't work on anything or warranty anything over 10 years old or some, you know, time frame. And you know, it's like a car. You know, if you take your car and you run it into a ditch, you don't expect the mechanic to fix it all because he worked on the battery the other day. But that's what's happening here. And there is a disconnect. I truly do believe there is a disconnect between what a customer thinks about his car and what a customer thinks about his lawnmower. Apparently, the customer, when it comes to lawnmowers, think of it as like a blender. You hit the button, it's supposed to blend. It's just, that's what it's supposed to do. They don't realize it's more like a car than a blender. You know, those blades are spinning at 3,600 RPMs. When they hit something and stop, it's like running into a brick wall with your car at 30 miles an hour. It's going to do some damage. Things are going to break. I mean, I got a dent in the back of my truck, and I was backing out of this drive, and they had this little pole, wooden 6x6, just kind of sticking out of the ground a little bit, and I didn't see it. I wasn't speeding. I probably wasn't doing 2 miles an hour, and I hit that thing, and I just leaned it over. I didn't smack it or anything, and it just caved in that bumper. I'm not going to fix it because it's $4,000 to fix. I mean, I might one of these days do it myself. I can fix it myself, but I'm not going to take it in to get it done. Is my point. So so you know, if you can bend up your car at 2 miles an hour and you're running this at 30 miles an hour and you smack into a stump and it just, you know, he had to have known he hit something. He had to have known it. And well, I guess I don't understand, you know, this blender idea. It's just a blender. It should be able to absorb these impacts. You know, and then the first thing they'll say is, today's lawnmowers are just cheap pieces of junk. Okay, so I had a wheel horse. I've told you this story before. And it had a cast iron front end, cast iron steering, all of it was cast iron. And I hit a stump with the front tire, and it turned the steering wheel all the way to whatever side. Let's just say I hit it to the right. And I didn't think anything of it. I backed up. This is when I was a kid. I backed up. Well, ever since then, when you turn it to the right and you go all the way to the right, it would start clicking. I broke a gear on it. So the old stuff was just as fragile as the new stuff. You hit something, it's going to break. It's just the way it is. And man, people just, the other thing is you're running your lawnmower in the most dusty conditions. Oh, there's a deer across the other yard. Oh, that's cool. The dustiest conditions you can imagine. Sand, grit. I mean, think about the bottom of that mower. It's just constantly picking up dirt and rocks. And somebody complained that I was rubbing the deck up against the tailgate of the truck when I load it. That's terrible. Your customers, my goodness. It's doing more damage to my tailgate than it is that deck. That deck is constantly picking up dirt and debris and sand and just sandblasting the bottom of that deck constantly. It is a constant. And so now you don't change the air filter, you don't change the oil. That stuff is just getting sucked into the engine, and they expect it to last forever. That's a piece of junk. You know, my mower is 4 years old, 6 years old. 6 years old now, I guess. And it doesn't even have 75 hours on it yet. And I keep it covered. Oh, you can't leave it outside? Yeah, you can keep it covered, keep it outside. You need to go down and maintain it. Check that tire pressure. Never let the tires go flat. Start it up once a month in the wintertime. And it'll last a good long time. People just don't. And you can't treat it like a brush hog. I mean, I treated the John Deere like a brush hog when it got here, but I broke a belt. I had to change the blades. You know, there's damage. There was damage. I fixed it. I knew I was doing it. But I didn't expect someone to pay for it for me. So if you'll click this up next box to take the video over to my other channel, I'll really appreciate it. Go check it out. So hope I can inspire you. Take care of your stuff so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.